All right, what is up, you guys? I am here with a special video with a special guest. This is the DVD Freak, of course, and my special guest is.
That Kurtz. What's up, everyone?
And we're here with our top 5 favorite autographs that we own. So, we're just going to take turns spouting them out here. I have my examples in front of me, which I've shown on this channel before, but it's hard to come up with a top 5 list because I have so many just cool ones. But if you want to tell a story of how you got it, that's cool too.
For sure.
So go ahead and move on number 5.
All right. So my number 5 autograph for sure would be Jim Neidhart. That was really cool getting to meet Jim. He wasn't exactly the nicest guy, but you always have to respect being able to meet someone who has since passed away. You know, Went up to Jim, and you could tell he just didn't want to be there, but it was still cool nonetheless, even if he wasn't the nicest guy. And actually, I went to an event and I was really mad at myself about a year later because I found out that he was there signing autographs when I could have went and seen him again, but I didn't realize he was there because by the time I had gone, I was already at the end of the line. But yeah, I still have that autograph. Keep it, in sealed plastic. Keep it everything. Um, but yeah, he was cool nonetheless. Even if he wasn't, wanting to be there. But Jim Neidhart for sure is number 5. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 dead wrestlers on my list, but yeah. Okay, my number 5 is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I have the Gold Dust autograph shirt relic.
Awesome.
Top certified. These are always real. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this was a 2015. Got this on eBay for I think it was $30, which I'm willing to pay that for Gold Dust.
Yeah.
Just really cool to have that. What's your next one?
Well, quickly before I get into my next one, Gold Dust is actually coming around my area in August, so I hope to go meet him then.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Number 4 is my second dead wrestler as well. I would have to say King Kong Bundy. He was a lot cooler than Jim Neidhart was, that's for sure. Before I had met him, the poor guy, he was just walking around and he was limping, he was having a hard time walking. We just felt so bad, me and the fans were talking. We're like, man, he looks like he's struggling. So he was supposed to have a segment in the ring, but he couldn't get there because he was too hot. And it was hot that day when last August, everybody was sweating their ass off. It was just not good. But I go up to King Kong Bundy and, he's like, hey, man, thanks for coming out, and so I get the autograph signed by King Kong, take the picture with him. He thanks me for coming, and it was a quick one, but he was nice nonetheless. And I got a photo with him, and that was really cool meeting King Kong Bundy for sure.
Yeah, I always said he was very underrated. I love King Kong Bundy.
I do. From world class to WWF, all around. He was Fritz's retirement opponent in '82, so he's had a good resume.
Okay, my number 4 would be probably my second favorite wrestler of all time, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Awesome.
I actually met him a week after he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. He literally came to. I live in a pretty, not like a small town, but not somewhere you'd expect a wrestler to show up. Him and Matt Hardy were signing together at a local wing shop because they had a wrestling event. And I was literally just driving past it, and there was a sign that said there was going to be signing there, and I almost didn't believe it because it was like this little ass ghetto wing shop that you just would not expect this. So I told my friend we got to go, and it was awesome meeting him. And Matt Hardy wasn't the nicest, but Jake Roberts, he was cool. He went around to everyone's table, talked to you for a little bit, and definitely one of my prized possessions right there.
Absolutely. I actually could have met Jake, but I had finals. My parents would refuse to let me go to the event, and he hasn't been back since. So, yeah.
Fuck finals. Go to see Jake Roberts, man.
I was like 17 at the time, so they kind of had a little bit of a saying, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess I'll go on my number three. Number three, although I have like 8 autographs from this guy, I mean, I'm not even joking when I say I have like 8 or 9 autographs because he's always at the shows. Jerry Lawler. I love Jerry Lawler. One of my favorites growing up. And, this might get me a little heat, but, when I was 11 and, I went to go see my first wrestling show, it was right in the middle of their famous Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler feud,
Oh,
which was the shits.
oh God.
But when you're 11, you don't really know any better. So first time I went up to King, I was, talking about that obviously because, that's what was going on at the time. And since then, he's been to pretty much every single show. Progressively over time, he's gotten a little less, what's the word I'm looking for? Like less energetic and like
Yeah.
before first started meeting him a few times. He was really cool. And actually, the second time I met King was my favorite. I was there with my family, and he actually got to talk to us a little bit more instead of you know, um, sign and go about his heart attack because it was about a month before
Oh wow.
the 5-year or like 4-year anniversary of when he collapsed at ringside in Montreal. I believe that's where they were for that Raw. But yeah, meeting Jerry Lawler, it doesn't get tiring, even if I meet him, over and over again. He's just always there, and it's always good to see King.
Yeah, I've never met him, and don't even have an autograph from him.
I
Okay.
have so many ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is the only one that I got online that I got for free. I've told this story many times on my channel. We'll get to the other one because I got an autograph online, and then this accidentally was sent with it.
Oh
A
yeah.
CM Punk autograph.
I
And
remember.
because I opened it, my girlfriend was there, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like I just opened it up,
Yeah.
and like I couldn't believe, like I was just like so happy.
Wasn't that when you opened
And
the Law DVD?
yeah,
Yeah.
and which we'll tell the rest of that later, of course. But yeah, and then the eBay seller messages me. He's like, "Yeah, I sent that by accident." I'm like, well, that sucks. Mine now.
How do you
But
accidentally Punk autograph?
which happens to be my favorite wrestler, at least modern wrestler. So yeah, that was really cool. And it's actually pretty funny because you know in my video, I wish I would have opened it with my initial reaction for the video because that would have been pretty entertaining, I'm sure.
Yeah, certainly. So number 2.
Yep.
All right, so number 2 would have to be Matt Hardy. I've met Matt a couple times. First time I met him was the first time in 2011, and I did the sign backwards instead of this. I did this for the photo, so that kills me every time I look at that photo. But meeting Matt Hardy was really special for me. The Hardy Boys, I grew up watching them. They were the reason I got into being a wrestling fan. I was so devastated when they both left, 2009, 2010. They went out to TNA. But when I met Matt at the first show, which also the next wrestler I think is pretty obvious, but when I met Matt the second time, he was in his full broken gimmick. Like he was full on broken gimmick.
That's cool.
Even at the signing, he was still, he had the voice. Yes, he had the voice and everything, and it was just awesome. And I got a photo with Matt Hardy where basically his eyes were bulging out of his head because he was in full gimmick, and that was just so cool meeting Matt Hardy. I don't know why he wasn't nice to you, but he was totally fine with me.
Yeah, like with me, I mean, it was after a show, so that could be why. But yeah, he was just, yeah, he just did not seem like he wanted to be there. And his wife was there, Rebby. But
He was also at the one I went to as well.
yeah, but when I met Jeff, man, he was the coolest person, the coolest wrestler I've ever met.
Yep.
I got to hang out with him for a little bit. I have 3 Jeff Hardy autographs, and then I of course have the Hardy Boys together on the Twist of Fate DVD.
I got Matt to sign Twist of Fate DVD. I got in my next story. I'll explain Jeff's side, but
Yeah. Okay, number 2, Eddie Guerrero signed DVD, and I was reluctant to get this, but I actually got it. I got the WWE themselves to basically tell me this was real, because the seller, he got it in 2004 off of like a fan pack, he said. And I'm like, all right, that sounds kind of sketchy. So I literally emailed the company, and they're like, yeah, it was in there. So, and I sent them pictures, and that's one autograph. I don't know if you can really see it too well. That is hard to replicate.
oh yeah.
So yeah, this one for me, this would be on a lot of people's number 1, honestly. But yeah, that one's just really cool to have. That's another just unboxing that in the video I had to contain my excitement a little bit.
Yeah, that's just I'll probably never run into an Eddie autograph ever. I mean, it's just so hard to find a one, price whatever. Yeah.
And before we get to our number 1s, do you have any like honorable mentions that you couldn't make the list?
There's just so many. I can name a few if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Booker T. I love Booker T. Got to meet him. I actually got to talk about the famous WCW promo with him where he accidentally said the N word. So we talked about that story. Meeting Booker was great. Kurt Angle, even though he wasn't the nicest guy, getting autographed from Kurt Angle was great. And Cody Rhodes is another guy who I would put on the list because he was probably the coolest guy I've ever met. Met him a bunch of times. He actually surprisingly came to a January show. He wasn't advertised or anything. He came out as part of their AEW promotion when they came to Northeast and got to meet him after the show. Completely a surprise. Every time I've met him, he's just so dope. So I would say that those are definitely my honorable mentions.
Kurt Angle wasn't nice to you?
No, he really wasn't. I went up the first time with my dad, and we talked. My dad doesn't really know wrestling like I do, obviously. So he only saw Kurt Angle in like this movie he was in, and I don't even remember what movie it was that he was in. So we talked to him about that, and I mentioned the first time I met him that my favorite Kurt Angle match was him and Brock Lesnar in 2003 on SmackDown. Loved that match. And he just kind of blew it off a little bit, and then the second time is really cool. Got to see him, his last ever independent booking ever, before he went back to WWE for the Hall of Fame and everything. He was wrestling Cody in the cage. And yeah, he just kind of just was, sign and go. And the one thing that kills me, I have a photo with him. He has his mouth open. He has a piece of gum that you can see on the right side of his mouth. It's just, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. But
Actually, I have a signed TNA ticket from Kurt Angle. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's kind of mixed. That came with a VIP ticket. You got to meet a few of the guys. I mean, it's just more, I think that's more his personality. He just seems very standoffish, because I'm very much the same way. I'm a very antisocial person. So, I could be meeting somebody and
yeah,
be perfectly fine. People just might take it the wrong way.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just caught him on some bad days. Forget he went to Connecticut and New York. I mean, in front of a couple thousand fans, I wouldn't be too energetic and excited if I was picking.
Yeah, yeah.
Should I get into my number one?
Real quick, I have two honorable mentions before we get to number one. I
Forgot.
have Bret Hart, one of my all-time favorites.
I
Love it.
got that same DVD signed by Bret in person 2 years.
Yeah. And then I don't feel like getting up and getting it, but the Twist of Fate, both Hardys signing. And I also have a really cool Jeff Hardy autograph. He actually drew that's just cool. Like, just personalized artwork a little bit. So I like that.
Yep.
So what's your number one?
Well, it just happened to be what you just showed me. Jeff Hardy is my one. Always will be my number one unless I were to meet Kevin Von Erich, which I don't ever think would happen. But Jeff Hardy, without a doubt, is my number one. I still, even 3 years later, can't believe I met him. He was my hero, basically, as far as getting into being a wrestling fan. I go and meet Jeff, and I had the My Life, My Rules DVD as well. It's in the closet. And I go up to him, and I'm kind of fangirling. I'll admit inside, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm about to go meet Jeff Hardy. Never thought that would happen. Go up to him. He was, wicked cool. And he actually did a really cool thing for me. Usually, for Northeast's policy, you pay for them to sign one autograph. He looked at me and he's like, I'll give you two. So he writes his name, and then he wrote his other signature in cursive. So that was really cool, meeting Jeff, without a doubt. My number one.
He signed both autographs for free because I got to go backstage because EC3's manager, EC3 did a signing where I worked. And this was back when he was TNA World Champion. And I work at a pharmacy, so of all places for him to do a signing. So I actually got the bullshit with EC3 for a while. And his manager's like, yeah, I can get you to meet Jeff because I was going to the TNA show. So yeah, I got Jeff's autographs for free. I've never paid for an autograph in person.
Well, I have, because I don't have those type of deals where I can go and meet the guys for free. That's just not possible where I live.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just I've gotten lucky where I live. I don't know why.
I mean, I got away with a Jerry Lawler free autograph one time. That's about
there you go. Yeah.
Because I'll just say quickly, when you buy the tickets online, they send you these little photo things, and you have to give them to the people who are managing the wrestlers, so that way you can't send them to other people to get free autographs. But when I met Jerry, the first time, I was like, oh, I have to give these away, and he's like, no, you can keep it. So next year I just used that card, got a free autograph.
Nice.
Yeah. And look at what they're doing with EC3 now in WWE. He's top of the world on TNA, and now I don't even know what they're doing with him anymore.
Yeah, but that's a rant for a different time.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned EC3. I'd throw that in.
Yeah. He was nice for the most part. You can tell he just didn't want to be there that much, but he was still cool.
Yeah.
Okay, my number one. This is something I don't even like touching, to be honest. We have the Chris Benoit Hard Knocks DVD. And this is probably my prized possession. And I even have the Vince McMahon signed anthology. This, to me, is more important than that, at least personally.
Oh, it would be to me, too.
Yeah, just to have this and Eddie, and I actually got them both at the same time. Believe it or not, that's the craziest part of this.
Yeah.
Different sellers. But yeah, I think if I were to sell my entire collection, that's the one thing I would keep.
Yeah, I remember watching those videos when you got those, and I was just so jealous. Beyond jealous. I'm like, wow. And I don't know if you would feel comfortable saying, but did you have to pay a lot for those autographs?
Eddie was 30, Benoit was 50.
I would have done that in a heartbeat.
I actually talked Eddie one down. He was at 40. I talked him down to 30.
Yeah. I mean, the Chris Benoit Hard Knocks DVD is already a lot of money, even without the autograph. To get the autograph, it's just, and I think the Benoit would be more valuable to me because obviously he's basically, wiped
He's
out.
infamous. Yeah, he's
WWE.
infamous, and I just, love him I grew up with him,
Yeah.
So
That
to
company.
me, he's one of the best I've ever seen
Yeah.
by far.
Without a doubt. The company has never been the same since the tragedy happened, in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember watching it live. I remember watching the tribute show live.
And then 24 hours later, gone.
Yep. I did not watch that ECW episode because I didn't watch ECW back then because it was just a travesty.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But that'll about wrap it up for this video.
All right, cool.
It's definitely cool making videos like this, and we have another one planned, so that will be talked about and released shortly.
Before we go, did you
So,
see the video?
what's that?
I said before we go quickly, did you see Ken's video of his top 5 things on the bucket list? He said one of the things he wanted to do as number 2 was to somehow get us all together for one time, which I don't know how that would even be possible, but
I was talking to Ghost about that.
yeah.
Trust me. Yeah. I would love that.
I mean, we all live in different states. He's in Canada. Most of us are in the U.S., so that would be a hard one to organize. But
well, I could easily do it on Skype. So
yeah,
we could all Skype at the same time. I could easily record it. So
that'd be dope.
That would be amazing. I was talking to Ghost about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully we can do that sometime. And if you would like to see that, definitely let us know.
Oh, yeah.
So, go ahead and plug your channel if you want real quick.
So my channel is Nick Kurtz, NickKurtz. Make videos a lot. Check out the channel. I'm not as big as other YouTubers, but I try to put out quality content the best I can and when I can.
Go check them out. Link is in the description. We hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.